Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another exciting episode of The Spread. This is your guest host, Big Easy, in studio with our up-to-date and looking good senior baseball analysts, J-Dash and JK47. How you guys feeling?
I'm feeling good after that introduction.
With the introduction, the weather, how do you like the weather?
The weather's been absolutely fantastic.
Weather's been good. Everyone's
Today.
good. Today, hey, we're on the right path.
Believe it.
We're going to keep it going here with our preseason baseball breakdown of every team and let you know who's hot and who's not. And we're going to start the NL East here. Obviously, a team from that division made it pretty far last year. The New York Mets.
Please believe it.
They were looking good.
Philly, they were at the opposite end of that, though. They haven't been good for a while after those couple big years when they won the World Series there.
I hated when Philly won the World Series and we were a garbage baseball team. That was the worst, huh?
Well, their rotation was beast.
Yeah, they paid for it.
Please believe, and they're paying for it right now, too.
So we're going to break down the Philadelphia Phillies here today and let everyone else know in this state that you guys are in for a rough year.
Yeah, I'd have to believe so. They're in rebuild mode, though, and they got some young talent out there, and that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about in this segment is the younger guys. I mean, we're going to go over the roster and everything, but I'm going to mention their prospects because that's what's more important to Philadelphia right now. But a couple of signings they made. They signed outfielder Peter Borges. Not a big signing or anything. I mean, he's been a solid outfielder over the years, I guess. Nothing great. And they signed some relief pitching. They signed Andrew Bailey, Edward Mujica, and David Hernandez. Now, Hernandez, it looks like, is going to be a guy that's at the back end of this bullpen this season. They got rid of Ken Giles in that trade, and they needed a closer, and it looks like it's going to be him. Now, he's not an elite guy or anything, but we'll have to see how he does in that role. And a couple of trades they made. They traded for Jeremy Hellickson from Arizona. They traded for Charlie Morton from the Pirates, and they made another trade with the Pirates, actually, but they got rid of one of their, I wouldn't say top prospects at this point because he did get hurt. He is going to miss the season, Jesse Biddle, and he wasn't as elite as they wanted him to be when he was in their minor league system, but this is still a young guy with some upside, and they got Yoervis Medina in return for him from the Pirates, and if you're a Pirates fan and don't know who that is, that's because they signed him and then traded him within the week for Jesse Biddle, and Jesse Biddle has some upside, so I don't know what Philly was doing there. When you're a team trying to rebuild, I think you want to keep those guys in your system. But they also traded for Mark Appel, Vincent Velasquez, and Brett Oberholzer in that Ken Giles trade I was talking about. Ken Giles going to Houston, and they bring in, my favorite guy in this deal is Vincent Velasquez, and I don't know if he's going to be in the rotation to start the season or not. I thought he was going to, but they're actually saying that he has an outside shot to start in AAA because they want Oberholzer to be in this rotation, and they don't want to lose out on a guy that's a very team-friendly contract, and they have him under control for a good while. So you don't want to just get rid of a guy like that because you have a better guy, even though Velasquez should be in the rotation if you just try to put your best players out there at this point. But really, I don't think they're in full win mode at this point. And Mark Appel, we'll have to see about this guy. Big name, but he really hasn't produced in the minors so far. He has a ton of upside, probably more upside than anybody in Philly's rotation. But we'll have to see how it works out. He really needs to hone in his control, really. He needs to, just be less hittable in the minor leagues before I believe this guy is going to be the ace that everyone thought he was going to be. A couple guys they lost. They lost Jeff Franco, not a big loss there to free agency, and not necessarily a loss, but Aaron Altier is out 4 to 6 weeks after having a wrist surgery, so that's going to be a loss for him as well. But we'll have to see. 4 to 6 weeks from now is just a couple weeks into the season possibly, so it may turn out to be okay for them. And a couple unsigned players, Chad Billingsley, Aaron Harang, Cliff Lee, still unsigned. JK47, I know you like that guy, but it doesn't look like he's going to pitch in 2016, actually, and Jerome Williams. So a bunch of pitchers here they left unsigned. Why? Because they brought in a lot of pitching, and they traded for a lot of guys that are going to be their future in terms of this pitching staff. All right, so let's take a look at this roster. Obviously, they're not putting out a great team at this point, but they do have some big names in this roster. But in the outfield, it did look like it was going to be Aaron Altier. This was a rookie last season. In fact, he may still be a rookie at this point. I'm not quite sure if he got enough at-bats last season or not. But this is a guy with some speed and some power, but I don't completely trust him 100% to be a good enough hitter. Now, he very well could be. We actually did a prospect check on him last season, and I said, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep his average up over 250 or not. We'll have to see. And I got a little bit of hate for it or whatever, but that's fine. I mean, Aaron Altier, he definitely has a lot of upside, and he could become a very good player. I just think his batting average isn't going to be as good as it was in the minor league system. They have Odubel Herrera in center field. This was a Rule 5 pick from last season that was able to stay on the roster and start a lot of games for him out there.
Actually look good, too.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player for him. That's why the Rule 5 draft, it usually doesn't work out, but sometimes, every once in a while, it does, and Odubel Herrera showed that last season. And then Peter Borges in right field, like I said, they brought him over. Nothing special there, a guy to fill out this roster while they're trying to rebuild.
He's a good defensive right fielder.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with him. I'm not too high on the guy or anything. If my team brought him in, I wouldn't be excited, would you?
He'll catch a fly ball.
He'll catch a fly ball. There you go.
He had a couple doubles today in their victory over the Twins in spring training.
But in left field right now, Cody Ashe, that's not a guy I care for at all, really. He looked okay in the minor league system. I think everybody knew he was going to struggle a little bit in the bigs, and he showed it so far. He has a little bit of pop or whatever, but he's just hasn't been a good player so far.
Well, I mean, he's a guy they more liked because he can play third base also.
Right.
But, I mean, obviously with Maikel Franco there, I mean, that's really
Right.
the only place you can pull him.
I agree.
They could play Darren Roof in the outfield probably, too, at some point
Yeah,
or
he's
the
still
other.
another guy that really has to pick it up in the big leagues, though. He had better numbers in the minors, and it just he's one of those guys they really didn't think he was going to be a beast in the bigs, and he hasn't so far. But they do have some prospect outfielders. Nick Williams, he's 22 years old. We'll have to see if he comes up this season or they wait until 2017. I mean, really, they're in no rush right now. But he's one of the players that came over in that deal for Cole Hamels last season. He hit .303 with the .354 on base, 17 home runs, had 13 steals, but he did walk just 35 times compared to 97 strikeouts and 475 at-bats in Double-A. We'll have to see how he plays in Triple-A this season, but he looks like a very good prospect. He is a top 100 prospect on most lists. They have outfielder Roman Quinn. He's 22 years old. Just like Nick Williams, hit .306 with a .356 on base last season in Double-A, had 29 stolen bases, 18 walks compared to 42 Ks and 232 bats. That looks pretty good. This is a really fast guy, and he doesn't show much pop, but he does have a little bit of pop in his bat, but it's all about the speed with this guy. He should play good defense for you and be all over the bases when he gets on. And like I said, a .356 on base, he shows he can get on base. But the last guy here is a Rule 5 pick, so he's actually going to be on the roster to start the season. And if he can stick, it'll just be just like Odubel Herrera last season. But Tyler Godell, I believe is the way you say it, Godell. He's 23 years old, hit .279 with a .350 on base, with 12 home runs and 28 stolen bases in 473 at-bats in Double-A last season. Took 48 walks compared to 98 Ks as well. So this guy had pretty good numbers in the upper levels of the minor leagues last season. So we'll have to see if he's able to stick on the roster. If not, then he's back to the Rays system. So really, the outfield doesn't look great. Herrera isn't bad in center field. Outside of that, I mean, they're waiting for Altier. This was one of their better prospects. They're waiting for him to come back. And then you got left field and center locked up, and you got these prospects as well. Nick Williams, maybe he steps up and becomes that third guy this season, but like I said, there should be no rush for him at this point. How about Maikel Franco at third base, though? This guy has been crushing this spring. This was a guy targeted in my Dynasty League. I picked him up, and I held him, and it was just taking too long for him to get called up for my team, and I ended up dropping him. Someone else picked him up, and he played very well last season in his debut season. He was actually keeping up with Miguel Sano there for a while, and he's a lot better hitter than Sano as well. I think he's going to hit for a higher average. He doesn't take as many walks as Sano. That's the one thing. But he strikes out a ton less. This guy has a great eye at the plate, and That's one of the things I like out of a power hitter. If a guy can hit for power and not strike out a ton, those guys usually have a good chance of succeeding in the majors.
I just like the power numbers.
Yeah, he's a beast.
304 at bats, 22 doubles, a triple, 14 home runs.
What'd he hit?
280.
280. And that's out of a debut season. Now, it might go down. He might struggle with sophomore year or whatever. But I've seen this guy hit for a high average in the minors. Now, he never took the walk. That's the one thing. But actually, last season, how many walks did he have? He showed a little bit.
What, he had 26 walks to 52 strikeouts.
And how many at bats?
304.
So 304 bats, 26 walks, that's not even that bad, actually. So he's actually improved a lot, and that usually doesn't happen from going from the minor leagues to the majors. We'll have to see if he's able to repeat that this season. If he does, I think this guy's going to be a monster. Then you look at shortstop, you got Freddie Gelvis right now, but I don't think the fans of Philly are really worried about that guy. I mean, they know what they're going to get out of Gelvis. The guy they're looking at is J.P. Crawford. He's just 21 years old. This is a top prospect in all of baseball. He hit .392 with a .489 on base and 79 at bats in high A last season. They promoted him to double A. Didn't do quite as well, hit .265, but still had a .354 on base because he's able to take the walk. This guy has some good power, some good speed. He may end up something like a Francisco Lindor, maybe, I would say. Numbers you'd expect out of Lindor, you might be able to expect out of Crawford as well, although I do think Crawford is a little bit better of a hitter when it comes down to it. So J.P. Crawford is a monster, and I actually own him in my Dynasty League, and I am not dropping him.
Sit. Get that Dynasty team stacked, ladies and gentlemen.
Please believe it. Cesar Hernandez at second base. I mean, nothing special there, obviously, but they have that Darnell Sweeney that might take over at second base. He's a utility guy, mostly a second baseman. He's 25 years old. They brought him over from the Dodgers in the Chase Utley deal. He hit .271 with a .332 on base, 9 home runs, 32 stolen bases, took 42 walks compared to 116 Ks and 472 at bats in AAA before the trade. In the majors, he did not fare as well. 176 average with a .286 on base and 85 at bats. So he struggled, but he should see some starts this season at some point at least. They might start off the season with Hernandez. We'll have to see if they go that way or not. Or they might just start off with Sweeney. Why not at this point? He's 25 years old. There's no reason to keep him in the minors. I mean, he may end up as a utility player. I'm not quite so sure if he's a full-time starter yet, but he has some upside, so I'd give him the chance. What do you think about Cesar Hernandez, 47? I mean, his numbers didn't look too bad last season, but outside of that, I mean, he hasn't shown much so far. But last season was his first full season in the bigs pretty much, although he only played in 127 games.
I mean, I do like the stolen bases. 19 stolen bases. If he can keep on getting on base.
Yeah. I mean, if you're taking 40 walks compared to 86 strikeouts and 405 at bats, it's not terrible or anything. I just don't see... I mean, there's no pop here, and what you're getting is some speed. That's pretty much it. And, I mean, that's what you want out of your shortstop, not necessarily your second baseman. I think Darnell Sweeney actually has a little bit more upside. But who knows? Maybe Hernandez improves this season as well.
I don't like the 176 average and 85 at-bats. But, I mean, it's only 85 at-bats, so, I mean...
Yeah, Sweeney. Yeah, who knows with him so far. Like I said, though, he may just turn into a utility guy and pretty much play third, short, second.
Galvis is just keeping the position warm until Crawford's ready. I mean, I'd like to think he'll be fast-tracked.
Yeah, I think we're going to see J.P. Crawford at some point this season. It's probably going to be later in the season, though. There's no reason to call him up now and lose a year of control for no reason, really, because let's face it, they're not going to win this season. They're not going to make the playoffs. But Ryan Howard, first base. They could play Darren Roof there as well.
Oh, it's more likely going to be Roof against lefties and Howard against righties.
Yeah, I mean, nothing special there. I don't care for either one of those guys, although Jim loves Ryan Howard, and he had some power last season.
Ryan Howard should take Calvin Johnson's lead.
Yeah.
Hang him up. He is the worst against left-handed pitching. He had a 418 OPS last year. Dude's garbage.
Yeah, but I mean, in a platoon role, those guys have value as well. And if he's hitting, 23 home runs, that's what he hit?
Yep.
I mean, he still led the Phillies in home
some
runs
value
RBI
there,
last year. But
and RBI, yes. Correct.
Black Pedro.
I think he's going to take a backseat to Franco this year.
Oh, definitely. Maikel Franco. Actually, I think J.P. Crawford's going to be the best player on the team, but outside of that, I'm high on Franco as well. And then at catcher, they have Cameron Rupp and Carlos Ruiz. Nothing special there right now. They do have some depth in the system, though, at catcher, actually. But two guys you may see this season. I doubt you'll see Jorge Alfaro. He's 22 years old. He came over in the Hamels trade as well. They think he's a better hitter than he showed so far in the minor leagues. And last season, it was the same thing in Double-A. He hit .253 with a .314 on base, had 9 walks compared to 61 Ks in those 190 at-bats. He did miss some time with an ankle injury or whatever. This guy is considered a top prospect. At one time, he was a top 50 prospect, and he just really never hit. Now, catchers, they usually don't hit as well as other players, but they expected more offense out of this guy, and I really haven't seen it out of him yet. And Andrew Knapp, this might be a guy you see this season. He's 24. He's a switch hitter. Hit .308 with a .385 on base last season. 13 jacks, 35 doubles, took 51 walks compared to 106 Ks and 458 at-bats between high A and double A.
Those are pretty nice power numbers.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how he does at catching. I mean, he needs to improve a little bit at the catcher position, fielding, and before he gets called up. Obviously, that's the main part to these catchers. They've got to be able to catch, or else they're not useful in the bigs.
Well,
ask Tony Sanchez.
Yeah, and it's more, catching is just not just sitting there and catching a ball. It's commanding the whole. It's being tight and commanding the staff and knowing your opponent.
Please
everything.
believe it.
It's everything.
And knowing what pitch to pitch every single time. A lot of pitchers rely on that.
Believe it. Catching is a vital aspect, and if you have a son, you might as well raise him as a catcher because it'll be fast track to the big leagues.
And when you got Charlie Morton on your staff,
nope,
you need that catcher.
When you got Charlie Morton on your staff, you're projected to win 65.
No, but look, you take a look at this rotation. You got Aaron Nola. I know you guys like him. Obviously, he looks like
Never
a very
heard of him.
good. Well, he was a rookie last year. I guess you don't keep up to date with this stuff.
I do not.
But yeah, Nola, he looks like he's going to be a beast. He's at least a number one. He may
Will
never
he be
become
an all-star
a complete
this year?
ace. This year, it's possible. Let me think.
Real quick, who is the Philadelphia Phillies all-star representative this year?
I think the
Projected.
best shot is Nola and Franco. Those two.
Okay.
Definitely.
I hear it.
And then you got Jared Eichhoff, another young guy. They think this is a future piece to the rotation as well. Maybe he ends up being a number 3. Maybe he ends up being a 2 or a low-end type 1 pitcher. Who knows right now? But he does look like a very good pitcher as well. I would guess more in the 2 range. But outside of that, I mean, they're looking at Charlie Morton's on your staff, Jeremy Hellickson's on your staff. These are just some average major league pitchers, some fill-in pitchers.
Guys you have to have. Morton, you know what? Over-under wins this year, 8.
7.
7.
So under.
Yeah, I'll go under as well.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies, I don't think they're going to get it done this season. And, I mean, just because he has under 8 wins doesn't mean they don't win some games he pitches. You know, he's just not going to get the win.
Okay, so you're saying Charlie Morton will not even win 8 games this year?
I mean, it's tough to win 8 games sometimes for back end of the rotation type pitchers, man.
Okay. Charlie Morton fans, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can like us on Facebook. Subscribe to that YouTube channel because we're blasting that YouTube out. Let us know, does Charlie still got it?
That is a question.
It's over under 8 wins this year, and it's a spread sweep. We're saying under.
How about your boy, Brett Oberholzer?
Brett Oberholzer.
You think this guy's going to stick in the rotation here? At least to start the season, I would believe so. But, I mean, like I said, you're definitely going to pitch Hellickson and Morton just because you're paying these guys to fill out your rotation for right now. Nola, you got to put in this rotation, and Eichhoff, I believe you have to. So it's either Oberholzer or Vincent Velasquez at this point. I like Velasquez a lot more, but it kind of makes more sense to put Oberholzer in right now so you can retain him while giving Velasquez starts in the minor leagues.
Oh, I mean, I definitely like Velasquez ultimately too. I mean, I do like Oberholzer. I think he's a good back end of the rotation type guy. Somebody that would be great to fill out the rotation. I'd like to think I'd keep him around.
Yeah, I think Oberholzer's a good, like, when this team's rotation is stacked, let's say they bring up all their guys, a couple guys I'm going to talk about here, Appel's in the rotation, I would still like Oberholzer at the number 5 spot.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Eventually Charlie Morton's going to get pushed out of the rotation.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Jeremy Hellickson, too, I would have to believe.
I mean, I wasn't saying that really to be funny, but I mean, I just see him right
It's for you, Charlie.
If everything works out.
Yeah. Like I said, they got rid of Jesse Biddle. And look, the way I'm seeing it is their rotation, their future rotation is going to be Aaron Nola, Jared Eichhoff, Vincent Velasquez, and then they're hoping Mark Appel, obviously. But they also got this Jake Thompson. He's 22 years old. He came over in the Hamels deal as well. So you can see they kind of made out in that Hamels deal. He had a 3.73 ERA last season, 112 Ks compared to 42 walks in 133 innings. Led up 127 hits in Double-A. This he's not an ace or anything, but he's going to be a solid number 3, and I'd say at very, very worst, a number 4. I really think this guy's going to be able to eat up a lot of innings, pitch 200 innings season after season. And so there's a guy there. You got Mark Appel, like I was saying before. And then there is Ben Lively as well, a guy that was in the Cincinnati Reds system at one point. He's just 23. He's up and down in the minor leagues. We'll have to see how he works out. I'd say he's probably the odd man out of these young guys for this rotation. But in the end, this rotation could be very good, especially if Mark Appel steps it up in the minor leagues and shows he is an ace.
Yeah, that rotation has some promise, and that's about Philadelphia fans have something to look forward to. Imagine if one or two of those guys have like an Arrieta-type awakening season where they and they're capable.
I'm hoping.
Come on, just pitch shut down like that.
They're probably hoping that it isn't in the age 29, 30 season like Arrieta, though. Arrieta was a bum when he was with the Orioles, man.
Yeah, but I just used him as an example because he's a guy that comes out of nowhere and has a solid year.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys
Charlie Morton.
No, we already swept him away.
Yeah, I think Charlie will be serviceable, but
that's about it.
That's just about it.
Serviceable.
Yeah, I mean, he's just filling out
West.
the rotation right now till they feel like it's time to bring up these young guys. That's the obvious reasoning right there. You look at the bullpen, David Hernandez in the back end, like I was saying before, he's actually day-to-day right now with triceps tendonitis, but he'll be back to start the season. You got Genmar Gomez. Like I said, they signed Andrew Bailey, Edward Mujica as well. So they have a couple of veterans here in the bullpen. Like I said, they got rid of their big piece, Ken Giles, but I think in the end that was a smart move because they got a ton for him, obviously. But they have Dalier Hinojosa as well. He pitched for Boston and Philly last season in 19 games, and he played pretty well, had an 0.73 ERA. He's not a young guy or anything, but he's from Cuba.
Aren't they all?
So we'll have to see. Maybe he works his way to the back end of the bullpen at some point here. So what are you looking at, 47? They got a lot of promise in the minor leagues. They got some big names here like Franco and Nola in the big leagues. Velasquez, hopefully, I'd like to see him make this team somehow. Maybe put him at the back end, turn him into a closer, and then trade him and get a ton more stuff.
Yeah, you really want him to be a starter, though.
I think so, too.
That's one of the reasons why you brought him there, to compete for a rotation spot. I think he'll eventually sneak in this year, definitely.
He does have some health issues, though. He's been injured a lot in the minor leagues, and he may end up just as a beast closer in the end anyways, man. And considering what you got for Ken Giles, and if you can do that season after season, wouldn't you want to do that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not looking for much out of this team this year. I think Franco would be solid. I think Ryan Howard's obviously is going to hit some jacks. I mean, he's too expensive not to play. So.
Over or under jacks this year? 18, Ryan Howard.
Under.
I'm
saying he goes back down.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
All right, we'll keep an eye out.
The future looks good for the Phillies. 5th place, though. Maybe 4th. I'll give him 4th place. Why not? I like Franco and J.P. Crawford I'm excited for, so why not? I think the pitching staff could turn into be a decent pitching staff this season. I mean, if you look at it, Nola, Eichhoff, Velasquez, Hellickson, Morton, I mean, that's okay.
Over or under 69 wins total this year, Philadelphia Phillies?
I'll go under. Still won't lose 100 games, though. They won't lose 100 games. 47?
Put a hundo on it. Over or under?
This is tough. I mean, I could definitely see them doing it. I mean, they're not going to be terrible, but they're not going to be good either.
So what are you saying? Which place?
4th.
And how many wins? Dun, dun, dun.
68.
68 wins.
I'm going to have to agree with you guys. I'm going to go fourth place. The division's got some quality baseball teams in it, but I love the rotation. Philadelphia, they got good return for the deals they made.
Yeah.
They're going to stick with it. Hopefully these guys turn out.
They will be good again.
I'll say under 69 wins, too. I'll give them probably about 68, 67 wins. But that's it. People from Philadelphia, if you want to let us know if we missed anybody or you got some inside info that we don't have, you can let us know. And you can like us on Facebook. You can hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can get the J Dash.
You ain't getting to me anyway, man. I stay off the internet.
You can get the J Dash because he'll respond once you call his bluff on these top prospects.
Yeah, call my bluff on J.P. Crawford. I bet you won't find one person talked out on J.P. Crawford, man.
J.P. Crawford, hit us up at bet_the_spread on Twitter because guess what? JK's coming for you.